Well, hello. Thank you, everyone. Welcome and thank you, and welcome to the right hand. I am Greg Copeland, Ruben Allen. We are law firm consultants in association also with Marshall Graham, which is a legal recruiting, legal search firm. And together we put on a series of podcasts. You may have heard the right hand in the past. What we are going to do moving forward, as I had explained in a previous episode, is we're going to use series within the right hand series. One of the series that we discussed previously was the Path Less Traveled, where we will speak with attorneys either who went solo, who are head of practice groups. We will touch upon some associates in large law firms and just get their perspective on law firm life, how they feel, how they became attorneys, what motivated them, where they see their future going. We'll just ask questions, anything and everything. Another series that we're doing, and this is the kickoff to that, is the Facing Your Fears series. And this is going to be a series dedicated on starting your own law firm, building and creating your own law firm, and building upon what you created. And in this, we'll touch on, how, gaining capital, hiring and managing a staff, business development, creating policies and procedures, being realistic, having realistic goals versus unrealistic goals. And we're going to cover all of those as we go through in the Facing Your Fear series. And so I just wanted to touch upon, just to kind of kick this Facing Your Fear series off, is basically, starting this new year out. 2023 is not that old. We're still in the first quarter, starting this new year out. And, that's to advice to people who have been thinking, whether it's a year, a month, a day, or sometime in the future, about starting their own firm. And I guess this can go to either, even starting your firm or building upon your firm. If you're a solo attorney or just one or two attorneys and you have visions for this firm to grow. And so, I just wanted to touch quickly upon basically setting goals and putting these goals into an actual action. And it's pretty easy when you start out, when you think about it. If I'm going to go out on my own, start my own firm, what you want to do. And what I always advise those who are thinking about it, or even those who maybe went out last week or a year out into their own firm, hanging their own shingle, is I tell them, think about and write out and really truly give true thought to it, and write out 5 goals that you would like to reach by the end of the year, by December 31st, 2023. And this gives you plenty of time to reach those goals, I believe. Obviously, right now we're at the end of the first quarter, so the first 90 days may be gone. But what this does is it gives you time to ramp up. And I always suggest, map out these goals. You can either start them right away if you're that type of person, or you can wait till the start of the next quarter and kind of work on those 90-day increments. And, when you write out these goals, I always want to be clear about this. Make sure they're realistic and attainable. Don't set these lofty goals. And it's great to set lofty goals or have high sights, but what you want to do is make them realistic and attainable, so you're not setting unrealistic goals and then you become discouraged because you're not even coming close, whether it's a revenue goal, whether it's adding on to your team, adding another attorney, adding paralegals, whether it's gaining a certain number of clients by the end of 2023. Make those goals reasonable and attainable, because the last thing you want to do is to basically put yourself in a negative headspace because you haven't come close to those goals. You're basically, when you do that, set unrealistic goals, you're actively working against yourself and your business. Now, the third thing I always say is just sit down, take time, take a day, half a day, a Sunday morning to Sunday afternoon, and map out how you're going to achieve these 5 goals. My suggestion, my preference is to start with a 90-day action plan. And that's why I said maybe you want to wait till the beginning of the quarter. Start with a 90-day action plan, and that'll kind of jumpstart you on your way. You set that day, and what you want to do is you want to make a real effort in this 90-day plan. Try to make it as detailed as possible. Put real effort into thinking about it. Just don't scribble something on a pad and throw it off to the side. Detail it out, write it out, so you can print it out, put it on your computer. You can have it on your home screen, the resting screen. You can print it out, post it on your wall, tape it on your desk, and you have these goals out and in front of you every day. So daily you can see these goals to remind you, hey, this is where I want to be at the end of this 90 days. You just want to constantly give yourself focus. And yeah, you may not achieve every goal or quite reach the top of every goal during those 90 days. But that's why the next 90 days you can readjust. You can add on, you could subtract. Hey, this isn't working for me. Let me take this away. Hey, this goal probably will not work by the end of this year, but definitely that might be something I want to put in my trunk for the beginning of next year. Lastly, and this is probably the most important thing of all when you're setting these goals, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of business entrepreneurs out there with successful businesses. One thing they all have in common, they weren't afraid, or they were able to conquer that fear. Their desire to be successful overtook that fear. We all have fear when we start on our own. It's scary. Starting your own business is scary. Believe me, I know. Thousands of things go through your mind, especially if you have a family, you have mortgage or rent, car payments, things like that. It is very, very frightening. But in the end, that autonomy, if you are that type of person who is an entrepreneur at heart, who likes that financial freedom, that financial autonomy, in the end, it's better for your mental health and your well-being to conquer that fear and go out and do it. Make those goals reasonable. All it takes is want and effort. Make this the year. Make this the time. Make this the quarter that you start to build your law firm into a successful entity. Thank you. That's the kickoff. What we'll do is cover in the next episode in this series is talk about the capital. Because without the capital, without the money, what are we doing here? See you next time on the Facing Your Fear series on the right hand. Thank you.